Hello FTF family. So a lot of you have been asking me for a while now for an in-depth look at my color grading process. A lot of you know Ark and I are in the process of creating our own LUTs for you to have, and I'm trying to perfect it, so that's still a little bit of a ways out. But for now, I'll be showing you my color grading process using White and Reverie's Timber collection. So as you can see here, this is one of the shots from my latest wedding. It was in Ohio. It was a gorgeous couple, gorgeous wedding. I was very blessed to be there. Here is the post color grade footage, and here is the raw file. So I'm just gonna toggle it on and off for you. As you can see, a lot of changes. The greens become more warm and desaturated. The whites get brighter, and the blues in this suit completely change color. I wasn't the biggest fan of the tone and the hue of this suit, and so I made some adjustments to make it more cinematic and more appealing. So I will take you through right now my process for color grading. So for above my footage, I have two adjustment layers which I'll be using. I don't want to mess with the final edit, so I'm just going to turn this off and then apply Lumetri color to this adjustment layer, and I'll show you how to color grade it with LUTs. So it depends on the footage, but for me, I always like to add my LUT first, and so I'll go to my creative, and if you've added your LUTs properly, they'll be able to show up in your creative. I've seen people input a LUT here in your basic, but that doesn't allow you to adjust the intensity, and it doesn't work as well. So make sure to put them in your LUTs folder in your application, and then they're automatically here. So I'll go to creative, go down. We have 5 options to choose from. So let's just start with the first one, and we can kind of toggle through them using this arrow right here. There's that one. There's number 2, number 3, which has almost a faded film look to it. Number 4, more green, and number 5, more yellow. So of all those, I like number 2 the best. So this is just the LUT on and off. One of the reasons I love the LUTs is because you can apply it at 100 and it still looks great and the skin tone's looking great. But I'm going to apply it at about 72. Okay, so once that's done, I don't really mess with any of this, and then I go into my basic tab. So for the look I'm trying to achieve, I want it to be a lot warmer. So I'm going to pump in about 26 into my warmth tab. This is with it off, that's with it on. It just adds a pretty look, but as you can see, her dress is starting to become orange and not white, which I don't like because it makes it look fake. So to get rid of the orange tint, I'm going to add a little bit of green into my image. That should do it. As you can see, her dress is looking a little better now. And I'm going to make this pop a little bit by putting some contrast into it. As you can see, it just adds some depth in the shadows. And then I'm going to bring up my highlights to make it pop more, and my shadows, because if you look at his face, there's some deep shadows there. So I'm going to bring this up to about, let's say 22. And now I'm going to make her whites pop even more, like so. It's a little bright, so I'm going to bring my blacks down a little bit. As you can see, it just changes a little bit. Go all the way down, you can see what it's affecting. You can bring it all the way up, it brings your blacks up. I'm going to bring it down to 5.6. So that's with the basic color correction and the LUT right there. So that's with just the LUT, that's with my color correction. Looking better. Okay, so then I'm going to my curves tab, and with Premiere Pro 19, they changed the color wheel to this, which I love. It's so much better to use. You can adjust the saturation, the hue, and the luma all right here. I love this new tab. So first things first, I'm going to create an S-curve by raising this a little bit, and then I'm going to lower this to bring in the shadows. Again, it doesn't do a whole lot, as you can see, but if you look at the highlights and the shadows, it makes a slight difference. Like look at the bride's face, for example. Slight difference. And then I'm going to grab my greens. So this is hue versus saturation. So whatever hue or color you're picking, it will grab that color and allow you to desaturate or saturate the image more. So I want the green, so I'm going to select that and that. That's about the green scale. I'm going to bring it down. If you bring it on all the way, you can see what happens. So I'm just going to bring it down to about there. As you can see, there's a lot of yellow in the image as well. So I'm going to bring that down to there. Maybe a little bit more. Awesome. Okay, so that is with it on and off. If you look at the greens, a little desaturated, which looks a little fake right now, but we'll get to that. Now I want to warm up the greens, so I grab that same selection. And this is hue versus hue, so this adjusts the hue of the color you're selecting. So I'm picking green, and if I go all the way up, you can see it goes purple. If I go all the way down, it goes to blue. And it kind of gives you a little bar right here of what the color is. So I'm raising it ever so slightly to add warmth to my image. Just slide this over a little bit. Looks good. Maybe not as much. And then still a little too bright, so I'm going to bring my contrast down a little bit more. There we go. So that's with the saturation curves and the RGB curves. As you can see, it's making it more like a moody, warm tone, less greens, more warmth, which I love that look. Hue versus Luma is a great thing to use to just brighten something. So for example, if you want to just make the greens whiter or darker, you can do that. I don't, or at least I didn't use it for this shot, so I'm not going to do that. And this is the same thing, you can adjust your highlights and your saturation here. Okay, so let's go to our HSL secondary. This tool allows you to select a color and completely modify and adjust that specific color. So what I'm going to do is for his suit, I'm going to select this tool and grab that blue. And I like to toggle this on so I can see what I'm doing. A lot of the times with 4K footage, this setting makes Premiere Pro crash, so if it does, we will see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab all the blues as much as I can by adjusting these parameters. It's coming in nice. Okay, there we go. And it's still really noisy, so I'm going to denoise it and add blur. Now I want to adjust the color. So I can turn this off so I can see the full image. And I think it's a little too blue, so I'm going to add some green to it. And so see, even just that small adjustment added a lot of color. I'm going to add more, and then I'm going to darken it a good amount. Like so. There's before and after so far. I'm going to add some contrast to his suit, desaturate it a little bit to get that moody look I'm loving. Maybe add some temperature, maybe not, it looks good. So there's the before and after of his suit. As you can see, now his suit seems to kind of match the overall feel of this scene. Last step, I go into vignette, and I just pump in about -3.3. It doesn't do a lot, but it kind of draws your focus more to the subject. So there you go. Here is the before and after of that scene. You might like that, you might not. You might think it's too desaturated in the greens. That's up to you. I usually don't go this moody and desaturated, but for this specific wedding, it matched the bride's style, and so I wanted to go with it. And as for doing that without a LUT, I won't do it actually right now, but essentially all you would do is do exactly everything I just did, except for applying the LUT, obviously. Then you'd add an adjustment layer to your footage, and then add another Lumetri color, and then another HSL secondary. Grab the greens and change them to the way you want them to look, and the other colors as well, and follow that same process. But again, I would highly recommend investing in LUTs. They're quicker, they make your workflow faster, and they add a nice punch to your image. Okay, so there you go. On to our second image. This one, I got a lot of good feedback from, that a lot of you liked it. Here's the before and after of this scene. A lot changed in this one. So we're going to go through, I'm going to walk you through my process of how I made it look so much better than the original. So first things first, the lighting in this scene is very bad, and you can tell there's a lot of blue lights and there's a lot of purple lights in this reception, and so their skin tones and everything just looks kind of purple, which I hate. And so my edit, I tried to make it look a little bit more green and white, which was kind of the theme of the wedding. First, I will go into my adjustment layer. I'll grab a LUT, Use one of White and Reveries. Okay, so I'm gonna have to say I like the look of number 1 the best, but I probably won't do it more than 40%, maybe 45. So that just kind of adds a punch to the colors. And I'll go to my basic correction tab, and obviously it's way too pink, so I'm gonna pump in tons of green for it. Now that's way too green, but we're gonna adjust it. Then I'll adjust my temperature, make it a little bit warm. So that's before and after so far. So it's still a little bit too green. Now let's adjust the lighting. So I'm just gonna bring this up to about 1. Let's just find out what this looks. Maybe that looks good. Highlights. Great. Raise our shadows. And it's a little washed out, so we're gonna bring down the blacks a little bit. So there you go, there's just the basic correction. So we obviously did a ton. Brighten the image, made it look great. Now this is where the magic's going to be happening. I'm not going to use HSL secondary for this one and selecting his suit. I'm just going to solely use the curve feature. It essentially can do the exact same thing, just not as perfectly because of you'll be able to denoise and blur, but it still works very well. I'll show you how to do that as well. So first I'm going to add just a little bit of contrast, just a bit. Again, I won't do a whole lot, but you can kind of see it in his skin tones. Now I hate this kind of yellowy tint in the image, so I'm going to select that yellow and desaturate it all the way. Now you can kind of look, if you look at the wall here, that it takes out that kind of pea color from the image and the walls and just kind of makes it look a little bit prettier. And then his blue suit as well, it's too blue. Almost purple, so I'm going to bring that down a little bit. Now to change the tone of his suit, we're going to grab that same selection here. And again, you can change his suit color. Kind of funny if you delivered the video in orange. So I just want to make it a little bit more teal, like so. So look at the difference that just made. I made it go from like a purplish blue to a good aqua blue. And then since the suit looks a little bit flat, we're going to grab the blues and bring up the Luma. Maybe just a little bit. So that's the difference the Luma can make. Just kind of adds a shine to the image. Again, we're not going to adjust any of these or HSL. It looks fine. As for vignetting, I'm going to bring it down a little bit more just to make them stand out. As you can see, it just kind of focuses in, maybe go to 0.5. And so there you have it. That would be the look I would be trying to achieve. Here's before and here's after. Again, that's my style. You might not like that color, but to me I love it, and I would just copy and paste that and make minor adjustments on the rest of the reception footage. I'll provide a link for White and Reveries LUTs because I hope that helps you kind of get an idea of my color grading process. Here are just some quick looks at before and afters. Here's the first shot we did. Here's one of my favorite shots from the day, before and after. It's a really pretty look. Here's another shot that I loved, before and after. So there you have it, guys. Take the time, spend a few more minutes in the editing room, perfecting your colors. Don't make the colors so that they distract from the story, but they enhance the story. They make it dreamy. It's a wedding video. It's supposed to be beautiful and slow and dreamy and moody all at the same time. So spend extra time, make it stand out, make it pop, make it beautiful, and it pays off in the end. If you guys want any more tutorials or any more questions about color grading or anything with the LUTs, let me know. Welcome to Receptions 101. With us today, we have Samuel Hansen, the man filming behind the scenes, and we're hoping to capture mainly how you can confidently film a reception, start to finish, and put it into one cinematic, stunning video. So your job, besides capturing the bride and groom special evening, is to capture the details and the events that are happening. Even if you might not use them in the final video, capture as much as you can. More is better for receptions. Today I am filming on the GlideCam HD4000 with the Devin Graham Series GlideCam head. I'm filming on the 5D Mark IV, which you know is my favorite go-to wedding camera, with a Canon 50mm 1.2. I have a battery grip on here so that I can last longer without having to change batteries and miss things. And I'll usually switch between my 50mm 1.2 and my Sigma 20mm 1.4, but mainly for most of this video, it'll be on the 50mm 1.2 for a couple reasons. One, it's crazy sharp and I'm obsessed with it. And two,
Because it has such a low aperture, it allows me to do great in low light. A lot of receptions get dark pretty quick, whether they're indoor or outdoor. So I love having a lens that can handle the low light and still provide a very crisp image. I'll also be filming this entire video at 60 frames per second. The dance party I might switch to 24, but I'll keep you posted. So we're filming at a gorgeous venue. This is a greenhouse. It's called Cactus and Tropicals, sponsored. First up, we have this beautiful cake here, which they spent lots of money on. And there's usually 3 main shots I want to get when capturing the cake, and I'll show you those right now. So we want to get a full shot showing the cake and the scenery, like so. And then I love to get an up-close shot showing just the flowers and the details. I don't know why, but I love this shot. Apparently in weddings, there's a lot of symbolism with cutting the cake. That's kind of how the tradition started, is that it symbolizes your first meal together. If I've captured it, I might try a different angle, maybe a little bit wider. I love the depth I'm seeing in this image right here. You got the tree behind it, you got the distant windows. Whenever I see the bride and the groom happy to see people, I try to capture their reactions. Parker taught me when you're filming receptions and you're gonna film guests, this might sound terrible, but film the most attractive guests. For example, I wouldn't film a guest shoving cake in their mouth, right? I'd film an attractive couple, maybe dancing or talking or enjoying their time. So a question I get a lot is, how do you get clients? A great way to market yourself, if you're still in the infant stages of social marketing, social media, and building a good clientele, an amazing way is to display your work. So a lot of my clients, before the wedding day, will do a first look. The purpose of the first look is so that we can have pictures and video displayed at the reception of the bride and the groom in a beautiful location, showing off the dress and his reaction to seeing her dressed the first time. So when I film those things, I bring them to the reception and I put them on display. And so when people walk in the reception, they see this beautiful, stunning video playing of the couple, and they're like, wow, that's gorgeous. And then right under the TV, I have a stack of my business cards. And so they can take a business card if they love the video, which why wouldn't they? And they can give me a call or give me an email. I've gotten quite a few emails and booked quite a few clients from it, because one, they know the bride and the groom, so they feel like they're asking a friend for their recommendations, which they trust. And 2, they get to see your work right there, right in front of you, blown up on this big, beautiful HD screen, and see an immediate thing to do with that information. The couple I'm filming today was because of that marketing method. So keep that in mind. Display your work, whether that's on social media, at receptions, and so forth. I learned it from a photographer, because pictures are always all over receptions of the couple, engagements, bridals, whatever. And he had lots of his business cards just throughout the reception, and he gets a lot of his clients that way. Oh shoot, I filmed all the cake at 24 frames per second, so we'll go back and do that again. Glad I found that out now. So I'm panning 2 different ways, because I want to see what's on both sides. You'll see an electric outlet on the right side, but then a beautiful green tree on the left side. So naturally, I want to use that green tree shot. Here we go. Let's get some more details. Can I borrow your rings? Yeah. Find the photographer. Have you seen that photographer that she ditched? Just really close up so we don't get the pot. Man, he has a big finger. Look at that, it just like falls through. I don't know, you tell me. So what we're doing right now, Amber and I, is we took their rings, we'll give them back, and we're putting them on beautiful objects to get just ring detail shots. Show off their rings in pretty locations. We like this. We might change locations to a better spot, but stay tuned. So I'll show you, there's a little too much pot in there right now, but as you can see, it's still really pretty. Yeah, I think it's too potty for me.
Yeah.
We'll try to find another place. That's pretty.
That is so pretty.
So when you're filming these ring shots, you're carrying a couple $1,000s in your hands, so don't lose them. I'll show you a footage of one time I was filming it on a cactus bush, and the wind blew really hard, and it fell off. So compare this shot to the other shot, it's just not as potty.
Yes.
Ooh, maybe, let's try this real quick. So I like doing 2 shots, I like doing the wide so you can barely see it, and then doing a really up close one, where it's the focal point. Another reason I love working with photographers is they have a lot better sense of composition, I feel like. They're taking frames, we're taking moments, and so I feel like they know more of how to place things and be creative with things to tell their story. We have the ability to capture emotion and use music, but they only have pictures, so they have to get really creative. And so I love learning from them what shots they like to get, and those kind of things. Especially ones like Amber when they know exactly what they want. She's so good. Oh, your picture's turned out so good.
Oh, thank you.
Oh man. So a question I get asked sometimes is, okay, well, cool venue, but what if you're not shooting at a greenhouse? What if you're not shooting at a pretty venue? What if you're at this horrible, just dark, ugly place? I've been there. I shot this wedding and I felt like I was walking into the DMV. It was that bad. So what I did is put my wide angle lens away, put on my 50mm, and just did tight detail shots of the venue. There wasn't a lot of details. I'll show you what it looks like, but I just didn't want to show off how ugly it was, so I kept to the pretty parts and kept tight, if that makes sense. So a couple great things to know about shooting food. There's a huge difference between, let me show you, this, which is pretty, or this, still looks good, compared to add some depth and some foreground by putting food in front of it like this and like this. There's just more depth to it. I'll show you more like this. See how much more aesthetically pleasing this shot is with foreground and background compared to just this. Big difference. Neither are wrong. One just sucks. Sometimes I want to put like text on top to introduce the couple, like this is Allison and Andrew's day. So I love deep green backgrounds behind my text, and so I look for those kind of things. All right, do you want to take a break and eat? Problem with this reception is super loud, so I might be yelling. Another great detail shot that I love to have is just the GIFs. It's just a fun thing to show when you're doing detail shots. So as I'm glide camming, I usually tuck my arm in here, hold it in front of me with my weights pointing out, and with my left hand, my finesse hand, I'll just lightly touch it and turn it if I need to, like this. Just lightly. If I need to turn it, just barely. If I need to point it up, just barely with my thumb. The less you touch it, the better. The stance, very important. So as I'm panning, not only am I working my finesse hand, but I'm squatting and tilting my body to add to the movement, and then stepping really absorbently, so you don't have any like bumps. Your job essentially as a wedding videographer is to make today, their wedding day, look 10 times better than it actually was.
7:45, 8 o'clock, we'll probably be somewhere in there.
Cool.
We're going to do the cake cutting,
Okay.
then go into the bride and groom dance,
Okay.
combined parent dance.
Okay. So the DJ just talked to us. He gave us a schedule for the day. I always love making friends with the DJ and all the other vendors. A lot of the times, if you get really close to the photographer and the DJ, and you give them your business cards, they'll refer you to other people. So I just tried like 4 different angles with this disco ball, and I didn't like any of them. But I found this angle, because it shows off the green in the background, the white sky coming in, just great depth. And even some bokeh. You can see those lights in the background, some bokeh. What do you think? If they're like here even, ooh, there's a sun flare. Now I want the sun flare. That's all I want, Amber. Let's have you sit right here. You on this side, Allison, Andrew on this side. Just kind of like looking at each other. It's just so pretty right here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just like, oh, it's so cute, guys. Andrew, I want you to make her laugh for me. Maybe whispering something into her ear. I'm gonna come down. That was cute. That's a cool angle down there. One more kiss, guys. Excuse me, guys. Cake time. Also, you tell me. I think if they're standing kind of like this together, as opposed to like over here
Yeah.
for this backdrop, you think?
Just for him. You
All right, let's give a big round of applause. All right, we're going to give them just a quick minute or two here to get.
So this next shot I get is just showing the cake being cut. Just kind of a fun detailed shot, the messy cake.
All right, we are going to throw the bouquet so we can have
So with events like this, you've got to get as many angles of the same thing happening as fast as you can, because it only happens once. You got to mix it up really quick.
3. All right, come on up here. Picture with Allison. Okay, don't go too far. Come on up here. So take note, we have Chloe. Now we have Corbin. So
For these dances, I'm trying to get a lot of different angles because sometimes it's kind of hard to mix it up.
Without you here with me, you're my best friend. Oh yeah, and you believe in me. Nobody without you here with me. And if one door opens to another door closed, I hope.
Sorry if I keep on getting your shots.
Yeah.
Okay, we just filmed the first dance, the bride and the groom, and the daddy-daughter dance, and the mother-son dance. With those dances, it's a little bit tricky because the photographer's trying to get the same shots you are. And I'm constantly spinning because they're constantly dancing and twirling, and so I'm spinning the opposite direction. If you spin with them, you'll just never catch up because you're on a wider radius than they are, spin-wise. So you want to go the opposite direction, and the moments I look for is when, I'll show you two examples of when she's talking to the dad versus when the dad's talking to her and she's just smiling. You can clearly see which clip I would include in the final video of her smiling at her dad, like loving him. Same with the son. Now, the dance party is starting, so we're gonna jump in there in a second. Couple things, it's really loud in there, so I won't be doing a whole lot of talking because the music's just blaring. But a couple things to look for in dancing, you want to capture the most emotion. The craziest dancers, the funniest dancers, but also the most shots you can get of the bride and the groom dancing because it's their day. Make them look good. I'm going to stick this to 60 frames per second even during the dance party, even though it's like a fast-paced party. Just because if there's a shot in the editing room I want to slow down, I want that option. Sometimes there's like a little fun, like fast or backflip or something. It looks cooler in slow motion, and I want to keep that. Yes, people do backflips sometimes. So for this, there's a lot of little kids running around, and this can get very dangerous. It also limits me to get in the dance party because of this clunky thing hitting people. So for this part, I'm just gonna take it off the glide cam and keep it handheld. Dutch angle, right here. Every wedding, they decorate the car kind of crazy, which is fun. I love getting this shot. Just married, it's really classy. But every car, they'll put something, I might even blur this out, something grotesque. Show it real quick, yeah. Now sometimes it's very graphic, and I usually don't put that in my video. Usually when they see it, it's in their memory, and it's enough. So I don't feel a need to put it in a video that's on the internet forever. So just be wise about your couple. If they want to see graphic or crude language on their car in their wedding video, you decide. I know personally this couple just wants the classic just married driving away shot, so I'm not going to film their grotesque language. Is that a good way to say it? But this is funny, like big sexy with glasses. This, not classy. Oh, something's happening. Can't miss it. I freaked out. I was out there and I heard, I'm like, what could they possibly be doing? Hey guys, my lav mic just died, so now you're gonna use the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus on top of the camera. So they're finished the dance party. We're about to film the send-off. Almost every wedding I film, the send-off of the reception is sparklers. So there's two lines of people, both with sparklers, and the couple walks or runs down the middle. The problem is there's me and the photographer, and we're both like huddled in there, and we're walking backwards with sparklers behind us. So we're trying to be really careful not to get our heads burned, which has happened twice. Coming over there, by that door. So since it's bright, I don't need to adjust my Kelvin because the sparklers aren't giving off very much light, and the sun's not all the way down. Savage. Man, I've been filming on these two batteries all day. I've only lost one bar. Nuts.
Holy cow.
I don't know why, actually. That's usually not the case.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
That's actually really strange.
Did you shoot enough?
That'd be new.
Oh, they made a mess, didn't they? Do we stop it?
Alright guys, so there you have it. That is a look at how to film a reception. Basic takeaways, shoot everything. You want as much footage as you can to work with, to tell the story, to fill in the spaces, fill in the gaps. The details are the best way to do that. This whole video, I ended up never switching to my 20mm. I shot all of it on a very tight focal length. The venue was pretty crowded. There wasn't a lot of aesthetic wide shots, and so I chose to use one lens. Now, you might hate me for that, but let me tell you, when you use a prime lens, it forces you to be more creative with your shots. It forces you to find ways to get different angles and different shots so your whole video isn't just one big jump cut. So, be creative. If you can only afford one lens, now you know how to do it. Second thing, work with a photographer. I loved working with Amber. I loved working with Amber. She was very cool. She knew all the shots. She knew what she wanted, and I just piggybacked to offer for a lot of the shots. So make sure you talk to them and build a good relationship. So there you go. I hope that was helpful for you. I hope you learn more about how to shoot receptions. Again, to be very clear, this is my style of how I do it, things that I've learned from Parker and taught myself through time and trial and error. So learn yourself, go out and shoot content, ask your friends to do the receptions so you can gain experience, build your portfolio, and I will show you the final video now. Till next time.
Look now, there's more to see. See how I used to be. There's a memory, something only I can know. It's a wildfire, burns everywhere I go. But I know the way home. I know the way home. Go now, while there's still time. See how the season's right. Make a memory, something I can call my own, like the wildfire. It burns through all I know. Whoa. But I know the way home. I know the way. I know the way home. I know the way. know the way home. I know the way. I know the way home. I know the way. I know the way home. The way home. I know the way home.